Welcome to Nordic Market News, Friday, November the 11th. This program is brought to you by Nyhetsbyrån Direkt in Stockholm, Sweden, on behalf of Infront. We summarize the past week's most market-affecting news every Friday. Looking at each country's stock market index, the past week has surprisingly been positive for most Nordic markets. Helsinki 25 is up 3.9% or minus 0.6 today. OMXS 30 4.3 during this week or 0.4 today. OSCBX in Norway 3% up this week or minus 0.1 today. Copenhagen 20 minus 1.3 or minus 0.4 today. And Nordic 40 is 3.2% up or 0.1% up today. Not surprisingly, the US election has taken up most of the market attention during this past week. Donald Trump surprisingly did win the presidential election, making the Asian and American markets drop substantially on pre-trade following the election. However, Donald Trump's speech following his win did calm down the markets around the world. In his speech, he talked about unity in America and has, through his administration nominees, sent positive signals to the market about focusing on growth, for example, through trade. The uncertainty about Trump's policies is having a drifting effect on the global markets, but the expected drop parallel to Brexit earlier this year has obviously not occurred. In Denmark, Novo Nordisk is one of the winners following Trump's victory. Life science and infrastructure businesses are expected to gain momentum on the elected president's policies, giving Novo Nordisk a boost on the Danish stock exchange after some time of setbacks. However, after the initial positive trade, the stock has continued to drop and continues to do so this morning. Copenhagen 20 is weighed down by most stock. Only the bank sector with Danske Bank, Jyske Bank and Nordea is going against the downward trend. In Sweden, quite a few companies has reported their Q3 results this morning, among them names like Oriflame, Mekonomen, Arise, Attendo and Melker Schörling. The cosmetic company Oriflame is down substantially, almost 17%, after the report, which did not meet the market expectations. The troubled circumstances of the Mexican, Indian and Egyptian currencies are weighing heavy on the company's result. Also, the so-called CIS region, it's mainly former Soviet states, underperformed during the third quarter. The expected level of sales in the region was an increase with 3%, but instead Oriflame reported a drop of 1.6%. Earlier this week also Lundin Gold, Securitas, ICA and AstraZeneca are some names that have reported their quarterly results. Most of them has been in the range of the expectations. AstraZeneca has fallen somewhat short. Also, the Hexagon CEO Ola Rollén has commented on his detention last week. Rollén continues to claim his innocence of the insider trade allegations in Next Biometrics, saying he has done nothing wrong in the October transaction of 284,000 stocks. However, the investigation is still undergoing by the Norwegian Bureau of Economic Crime. Finally, in Sweden during this past week, private companies within the welfare sector has had a rough development on the stock exchange, following the government report on welfare companies. The investigation suggests a profit stop for private companies within the welfare sector of 7%. However, there is no consensus in the Swedish parliament for such a suggestion, making it unlikely for legislation to be passed, preventing welfare companies to profit on their businesses. In Norway, Swedish telecom giant Telia announced their acquiring of the Norwegian telecom company Phonero this last Monday. Telia buys Phonero for 2.3 billion Norwegian kroner. However, a competitor on the Norwegian market is not sure that this acquiring will actually take place. The competitor is ICE, and the CEO, Eivind Heljaker, says to TDN Finance that Telenor and Telia is dominating the private consumer market as it is, and further strengthening of either one would not benefit the Norwegian telecom market. The CEO also says Telia looks to dominate the business-to-business segment in telecom, and that the competition authorities should and can stop this development. Finally, in Finland, industrial group Fiskars will change the structure of the organization to gain in efficiency, meaning hundreds of workers will be let go. In a press release, CEO Kari Kauniskangas said the company is about to change into a consumer goods company, but the production and distribution will not be affected by the job cuts. This will take place next year. Also, the industrial production and inflow of orders increase in Finland for the first time in a year. In September, the industrial production increased with 3.5% compared to September of last year. The largest increase was seen in the chemical and metal segment in the Finland's industry sector. That was the headlines for today's program. We will be back again next week with more Nordic news. Thank you for watching.